He strangled 49 women to death. Hello true crime fans, today we will be discussing Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer. Gary Leon Ridgway, famously known as the Green River Killer, remains a figure of profound horror in American criminal history, distinguished by the sheer number of lives he destroyed and the chilling simplicity of his technique. For nearly 2 decades, the man who maintained an outwardly normal life as a truck painter in Renton, Washington, was simultaneously conducting a calculated campaign of murder that devastated families and frustrated law enforcement. To understand his crimes, you must first look at the psychological ground laid in his early life, which led to a meticulous method of killing and the eventual triumph of forensic science that secured his conviction. Ridgway's path to becoming a serial killer was paved with internal turmoil, stemming from a difficult childhood. Born in 1949, he grew up dominated by his mother, Mary, a relationship he later described psychologists as a conflicted mix of sexual attraction and intense hatred. He confessed to experience inappropriate intimacy, such as his mother washing him in inappropriate places long past the appropriate age, fostering fixation on control and resentment. These deep psychological wounds manifested in violence early on. At age 16, Ridgway committed his first known acts of violence, luring a young boy into the woods and stabbing him. Though the victim survived, the incident showcased an immediate capacity for detached cruelty. After an unremarkable stint in the Navy, during which his obsession with sex workers deepened, Ridgway settled into a life of apparent normalcy, working at the Kenworth truck factory, marrying and fathering a son, all while his inner pathology festered. The killing spree began in the summer of 1982, rapidly gaining momentum. Ridgway focused his attacks almost exclusively on the most vulnerable population, young runaways and sex workers operating along the Pacific Highway South. This strategic choice was central to his effectiveness. He reasoned that these women, often lacking stable ties, would be least likely to be immediately reported missing, affording him valuable time to escape investigation. He employed a deceptive technique, luring victims into his truck, sometimes by simply presenting himself as a sympathetic or easy customer, or by showing him a picture of his son to establish trust. If you enjoy this content, please like and follow, it really does help. Also, comment what cases you would like me to cover in the future. His MO was defined by strangulation, often manual, a quiet, intimate form of murder that limited mess and physical evidence. He killed most of his victims either in his vehicle or at one of his homes. The act was followed by an equally calculated disposal of the remains. The initial bodies were found near the Green River in King County, giving him his notorious nickname. However, Ridgway quickly began scattering the bodies across a vast area, creating multiple dump sites, dense ravines, and near the airport. Sometimes he even transported victims' remains across state lines to Oregon. This systematic dispersal was designed to confuse investigators and prevent them from linking the murders geographically. A particularly chilling detail of his method was confessing to returning to the corpses to engage in necrophilia, an act he claimed was not only compulsory but also served the practical purpose of satisfying his need to kill, thereby making him less prone to immediately seeking a live victim and limiting his exposure to capture. For nearly 2 decades, Ridgway evaded capture, even after being questioned multiple times and provided biological samples in 1987. He had become a suspect due to witness accounts and his association with the targeted areas, but the DNA profiling technology of the 1980s was not sophisticated enough to link him to the evidence. The case went cold, haunting the Seattle community until 2001. The decisive breakthrough come through the power of forensic science. Advances in DNA profiling allowed investigators to retest the decades-old biological evidence recovered from several victims. This retesting yielded an irrefutable match to Ridgway's 1987 saliva sample. Furthermore, forensic analysis identified microscopic paint smears on the clothing of some victims, matching a unique paint type used at the Kenworth factory where Ridgway worked. This combination of evidence led to his arrest in November 2001. Facing the death penalty, Ridgway agreed to a plea bargain in 2003, a wrenching decision for the prosecutors, but one that prioritised closure for the victims' families. police. In exchange for cooperating and disclosing the locations of many women whose remains were still missing, he was spared execution. Gary Ridgway ultimately pleaded guilty to 48 counts of aggravated first-degree murder, receiving 48 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. A 49th charge was added in 2011 after the recovery of a long-missing victim.